Bonjour everyone and welcome back on my channel The Waves of Your Soul. My name is Marine and the aim of this channel is to help us explore our emotions and intuition that come in ebb and flow through tarot and oracle reading. So if this is your first time on my channel, welcome. I'm really pleased that you're here. I want to take a moment to invite you to subscribe to my channel as there's going to be plenty more readings where this came from. And if you enjoy this video and its message, and if the message resonates with you, please don't hesitate to like the video and comment below and letting me know what pile you chose and if the message resonated with you, as it really helps me and my channel and I would really appreciate that. So without further ado, today's theme for our pick a card tarot and oracle reading is what is currently blocking you. What are the current blockages that you're facing? And I really wanted to do this video because we are now towards the end of the year, and it's important, I think, at this time to kind of review what has potentially not gone so well for us, where we might be still facing some blockages, so that we can get past them, get an advice on them, and assess the situation, and so that we can remove those blockages and have a fresh start ahead of the new year that is coming up. So if you don't know how a pick a card reading works, it's very simple. You're gonna see in front of you 3 piles of cards. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Each pile of card has a different message, so all you have to do is try and take some deep breaths and try and release any tension that you might be holding in your shoulders or in your jaw or in your back, and just let your intuition help you pick a pile that is going to have the message for you. I'm also going to offer you a very short 30-second meditation where you'll be able to still see the 3 images. And so you can take time to meditate on it and decide which pile you want to pick. And once you've decided which pile you're going to pick and you've done the little meditation, then the timestamps to go to your pile are going to be linked below. So just take your time and do the meditation, take some deep breaths, and allow your intuition to help you pick the pile with a message for you on what is currently blocking you. To helping you pick, I've also put some little artifacts here to help you choose in case one of them calls to you more. So the first one is the seashell. Here we've got tourmaline crystal right here for pile number 2. Focused, there you go. And for pile number 3 we have green opal. So opal crystal for pile number 3. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the meditation, and I will find you straight after. Okay, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose the little seashell, let's have a look at what is currently blocking you and what we can do to, help you face those blockages and move forward. So I'm going to put the little seashell here, and we'll look at that card later. But the first 2 cards that we're going to look at is kind of a summary of where your main blockages are at this time. So these 2 cards are going to represent what is currently blocking you. So first card that we have is the void, which is linked to the dark moon, and the second card that we have is self-love. So the cards are some of my cards are in French, by the way, because in case you didn't notice from the very strong thick accent, I am French, so you'll see some of my cards are in French and some are in English because I've lived in England many years and I am bilingual, so just in case you're wondering what this language is, it is French. But anyway, let's get back to your reading. So, like I said, the currently blocking you is the void and self-love. So straight away, my pile 1, I can see that what is currently in your way is yourself. And and we can see that straight away from this energy of the void, which is it's giving me a lot of hermit energy from the tarot. I don't know if you know that card from the tarot. And also with this concept of self-love. And there's this idea right now that you are required, and I'm getting the sense that maybe you're not really enjoying that, you're required to kind of step away right now from the busyness of social life, from potentially making lots of plans and seeing lots of friends. Of course, there's a pandemic, so there's gonna be that side. But for you guys, I can see it's deeper than that. It's not just that you can't see the people that you want to see, and you can't actually go out and do all the things you're normally used to do. I can sense that for you guys, it's also you're required right now to maybe do some introspection and maybe do some really tune into what's going on inside and sitting in that void, that dark space that is inside us where our heart can speak. And you're not quite comfortable with that. You don't want to do that. You potentially right now have been trying to distract yourself with other things, maybe like I was saying, trying to distract yourself by speaking to people or making plans or just watching TV, and just trying to find ways so that you don't have to think about some stuff. But this could all be linked to the fact that you need to value yourself more, because we have the self-worth card here. And what it's telling me right now, if you can see on this image, this person is really she knows her worth, she knows her value, she's very loving towards herself, and she's putting all her energy towards herself, and she's okay with being on her own. As you can see, there's no one else on the card. So what is currently blocking you, my pile 1, I can sense that it is linked to the fact that you're potentially uncomfortable with being alone right now, and with really putting yourself first and removing those distractions that are not serving you, and really sitting in with yourself, because potentially you're afraid of what you might discover if you spend time on your own, really listening to yourself. And I want to point out that there's a very big difference between being alone and being lonely. You can be lonely in a room full of people, and lonely and alone are two different things. Being alone can be very, very good for you, because this is where you can actually listen to what yourself, your inner self, is trying to let you know. This is in that void where you can actually see the stars and see what your intuition is trying to tell you. But if you don't take the time to sit quietly, to avoid silly distractions, and to actually face yourself and value yourself enough to give you that time, then you're not going to be able to move forward. So that's the energy of what is currently blocking you for you, my pile 1. So I'm going to take the tarot now, and we're going to pull some cards. I'm using the Light Seers Tarot, in case you're wondering. I love this deck, it's really good. So we're gonna ask what got you there, okay? What actually got you there, my pile 1? How come, what is actually the energy what happened in the past that got you there? How come you got into this situation? So let's see. What got you there, my pile 1? And we have the 7 of Swords, and we'll pull another card. The 10 of Cups. Okay, that is very interesting. So with the 7 of Swords, we are looking at potentially lying to yourself. And I'm gonna be honest, of course, if you're new to my channel, and you're gonna know I'm gonna be very honest here. I am not one to cut corners. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you like it is, because that's how we progress. And the messages, and I'm not saying, the messages obviously they come, I'm just channeling the messages. Don't I'm not telling you, it's just the universe or whatever, whatever is telling you. So don't take it personally, but of course sometimes the messages can come quite clear cutted and quite strong, and I have been there myself. I get cutthroat messages all the time from my guides. So don't take it personally, yes, but I feel like this reading is going to be one of those where it's a bit of a ouch. It's a bit of a slap on the hand, but it's for our own good, right? Of course, blockages, of course it's going to be a bit difficult, because if we got stuck in the first place, then we are going to need a bit of a kick up the butt to get unstuck. So anyway, just don't get deflated by what the guides are telling you, because they're just saying that for our own good. So with the Seven of Swords here, channeling like what, representing what got you there, I get a really strong feeling that you've been lying to yourself. You've been pretending that potentially things are okay when they're not. You've been putting on a good front. You've been putting on a mask, on a face of being like, everything is fine, I'm totally feeling great. We're going back to this idea of not wanting to sit in that quiet. So potentially you just pretend everything is great so you can go still see friends or go out or speak to people or distract yourself, and not actually facing the fact that maybe potentially, obviously, things are not great. There are some things that are troubling your mind. We're in the realm of swords here, which represent the mind, represent communication, represent our intellect, our thoughts. And so here I can see that you've been kind of like trying to sneak yourself, but deep down that there's something off, that there are some patterns or relationships or potentially career choices or life choices or just mental patterns, some stuff that you need to face that you haven't been wanting to face. You've just been cloaking yourself and not wanting to look at it and not wanting to sit in that void. And that's what got you here, my Palawan. And it's and again, it's not ideal, but don't beat yourself up, because we all do it. It's okay to be an ostrich sometimes. It's how we deal with trauma and how we deal with adversity. That's totally fine. But if you're watching this particular reading, it means that you're wanting to get out of this, the hand in the sand, and it's good. Like, this is how we can move forward. The other card that appears to represent what got you in this stuck situation, what got you facing this blockage, is the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is normally a very positive card, but I'm reading this in the shadow card of the shadow aspect of the card, as if it was reversed, because we're looking at what got you here. So if we're looking at this card in that sense, what got you here, potentially like, not facing the truth, not wanting to sit with yourself, wanting to avoid, wanting to distract yourself, and wanting to avoid to have those conversations with yourself, because through distraction and through kind of like putting on a mask, what participated in this blockage is actually the idea of waiting for things to be perfect for you to start something. And guess what? If you wait for things to be perfect to actually get a start, you're never gonna start. Like, that's just it. Things are never gonna be picture perfect. You're never gonna have the perfect rainbow, picture perfect, happy, everything imperfect. I mean, okay, let's not say never. Of course, there's gonna be time in your life when you're so in alignment, everything flows, and that's great. But we know that life is ebb and flow, right? That's why I called my channel The Waves of Your Soul. The life in general is very much all about ebbing and flowing, and there's going to be times when the tides are pouring in and times when it's really dry. And part of life is not waiting for the abundance to flow in, for you to start projects, for you to start new relationships, or for you to start new passions and new hobbies and all of that. Because if you wait, then like I said, if you wait for things to be perfect, you could be waiting a very long time. Now, the reason why potentially you got stuck into this place of not wanting to really sit quietly and to listen to what you want and to face the reality that currently there are some stuff that you know about that you know are not going well, that you don't want to face, is because you've been waiting for those things to kind of correct themselves to be perfect, or just waiting for the right moment to have the conversation, or thinking, you know, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe, you know, there's a relationship that's not going really well, but you're like, you know, it's okay, we'll talk when she's feeling better or he's feeling better, or I'll speak to my boss when he has a good day about that promotion I want, or I'll speak to my parents when they're, you know, in a good mood about the fact that, you know, there's this thing that they're doing that really hurts my feeling. Or maybe I'll wait until you know, all the stars are aligned for me to actually start that new hobby that I'm really passionate about. And guess what? That's not actually helping you at all. By doing that, you're actually not choosing yourself. By doing that, you're lying to yourself, and you're avoiding the fact, you know, you're not giving yourself the love and respect that you deserve, which is what this card representing the blockage was all about. So that's how you got here, my pal one. That's kind of like what got you in this situation. Now we're gonna pull another card, and we're gonna ask how can we, you know, how can we move forward? How can we unblock this blockage? How can we remove this blockage in your life? And how can we, you know, progress, move forward in the best way possible? So, how do we get out of this? How do we remove the blockages? Knight of Pentacles, and another card we're gonna have Queen of Cups. Okay, very interesting. So with the Knight of Pentacles here, I'm gonna wait. Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Well, I'll put it here for now. Okay, so with the Knight of Pentacles here, I don't know if you can see this card. The energy of the Knight of Pentacles is a very slow and purposeful energy. So for you, my pile one, the way to unblock those blockages, for lack of better term, I don't know how you would say it, but maybe, I don't know, remove those blockages, yeah, that's better. It's through purposeful action, aligned action. It's through sowing seeds on the long run that are going to allow you to really grow new trees, to grow new things, to harvest later. You know, what are you wanting to plant? Because this kind of energy of waiting for things to be perfect and of kind of lying to yourself, it's not working, because it's stopping you from facing, you know, the truth, from sitting alone and really looking at what's going on in your heart, in your intuition, listening what your soul is trying to tell you, and also you needing to choose yourself, to show yourself more self-worth by looking at what is not going right. And the way to fix that is through purposeful aligned action. So you need to right now take the time, make a plan, and, you know, write some steps on what you can do to actually fix the things that are bothering you right now. That's the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles are all about the material world, the planning of what, you know, planning projects. It's all about our, you know, finances, or our jobs, our health, our body, things that we can physically touch, or things that, you know, potentially actual material world, right? And so the Knight of Pentacles energy is someone who's going to take very slow and purposeful action. He's going to plan his step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on how he's going to get to his dreams, because he knows it's in the long run. It's a long game run, right? It's not something that's very quick. And because if you want something that's going to hold, you need to make sure the foundations are stable. So what you need to do is actually make a plan on how you can move forward. So for example, let me take an example. If there is a job that you're currently in that you're not happy with, then you need to take some time to sit with yourself and plant the seeds on how and what you need to do to actually change that. Do you need to take any courses so you can find so you can maybe ask for, look for another job in another totally different route if you want to change totally different route? Do you need to redo your CV if you want to keep the same kind of career but you're sick of being in that same exact company? Do you need to start planning a talk with your boss and writing down some ideas on what you need to tell them if you want to ask for a promotion, because maybe you want to stay in the position where you are but you want more money? Do you need to think about potentially, if you don't want more money, do you want more holiday time? Do you need to negotiate potentially having a break? Or maybe you need to, if you're not happy in your job but you still want to, if you don't feel fully fulfilled but it's not in your job, is it something that you need to, for example, work at a charity to bring you some more fulfillment because you don't feel useful where you are? Or is it a hobby you need to start, and this can be applied to so many things. If what you've been currently lying to yourself is about relationships, for example, the fact that you're not happy in a relationship, or that you really want a relationship but you can't find one, same thing. Knight of Pentacles energy is make a plan, really sit with yourself, make a list. What can I do tangibly? What can I actually do logistically that is going to help me plant seeds that are in the long run? Because we're talking long run here, we're not talking quick fix. In the long run is going to help me move forward and reap some rewards. See how he's planting those seeds? Those seeds are eventually going to become trees, but it's going to take time. But it's okay, we have time, we're not rushing, remember? We're just starting now, we're not waiting for things to be perfect. We're starting now and we're planting the seeds and making actual aligned action. The other advice that you guys got for how to unblock the situation, how to move forward, is the Queen of Cups. And now that's a beautiful energy. The Queen of Cups is giving me a lot of Cancer vibe, so there might be some people watching now who are Cancer or Pisces, or maybe you have your moon in Cancer or Pisces. It's that very emotional energy, but here as an advice, it's not a too emotional energy. It's actually the energy where we are in tune with our emotion and we are really taking the time to listen to our intuition, to flow with life, listen to what is going on inside us, listen to that internal ocean that we all have. Again, this is why I called my channel The Waves of Your Soul. We all have that internal ocean inside us that is, with ebbing and flowing with intuition and emotion that are there, coming and going, trying to teach us and whispers to us some lessons. And the Queen of Cups come here because she's inviting you to sit in that space. We see a lot of similarity between that card here and this one. So what you've been avoiding to do was actually sitting and opening your palms. You see how she is totally in that meditative trance-like position where she is quietly offering herself up to receive whatever wisdom she can from her intuition, from her guide, from the universe, from the divine, from her inner knowing, whatever you choose to believe it. See how there's this little crown here made of waters that is coming down toward her to actually crown her? This is because she's receiving that knowledge, that wisdom through quiet space, through really taking the time to meditate, to hear her heart and what is going on, so that she can then make that plan that we were talking about. But this is not going to happen unless you stop busying yourself and distracting yourself with things that are not, good for you right now. It's okay to distract ourselves, of course, it's okay, like I said, sometimes we need that. But what the guides are telling you right now is that it is time to actually sit in quietly and to listen to what your emotions are telling you, and also to trust your intuition, trust your emotion. It's not time to listen to the brain, it's actually time to listen to your heart, to listen to your intuition, to listen to what you're feeling. Don't try and use the brain as a way to get out of things or as a way to convince you that you have to wait until things are perfect for you to start. Your heart knows, and your heart is telling you now is good. Now is a great time to plan. You can do this. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, love yourself, and things are going to be okay. So I'm gonna finally look at that card that we had at the top, which is also representing an ally, or another message on how to unblock this situation to corroborate what we've just looked at. And we have the heart. See, I was just talking about how the Queen of Cups is requiring you to look at the heart. I mean, you can't make this up, right? I don't look at the cards before I do my readings, so I didn't know this was the heart. But like, look, this is what it's asking you to do exactly. This, I've just talked about it, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. But the way for you to unblock yourself from this situation is to listen to your heart and see how they're just rowing in that tranquil water, kind of really peaceful. They're just taking the time to, again, we see that water here, which is linked to the Queen of Cups, emotion, the intuition, the realm of like flowing of emotion, and taking that time to really be in that still space so you can hear what your heart is trying to tell you. This is the way for you to get out of this, is to make sure you're taking time for yourself. Don't busy yourself, don't compare yourself with other people, don't try and distract yourself or comparing what others are doing or waiting for the situation to be perfect. Really sit with yourself and take the time to choose you. Beautiful. So as a last card, I wanted to get a little message from the animal allies. So I like animals. I think they give great advice. And so what can be your ally for unblocking this situation? We're gonna ask, who's gonna be your ally? Who's gonna help you get out of here? And we have the pig. See that? And the pig says, use your mind wisely. Exactly. Why? Because the brain can be a fucker sometimes. I know, my brain can be a total, assholes. Like, seriously, the brain sometimes, it can be our worst enemy. Use your mind wisely, because it can be, sometimes it can totally lie to us. It can make us believe things that are not true. It can spin us into a total frenzy, anxiety, all of that. Whereas your heart will not lie to you. Your heart has the answers that your brain doesn't. So use your mind wisely is the message from Pig Spirit. So that's your message for you, my pile one. If you, just look at now for the next few days or a few weeks, you might see some pictures of pigs, or you might see pigs on social media, or a little pig emoji or whatever. That's just a little way for the energy of this animal to kind of come and check in on you and make sure that you are using your mind wisely and prioritizing your heart. So this is what I've got for you today, my pile one. I really hope you enjoyed your reading. If this resonated, then please don't hesitate to give this video a like, comment below, let me know if this message resonated with you. I would love to hear from you, and until the next time, I am sending you lots and lots of good vibes. Keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye. Hello my pile 2, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose the second pile with the tourmaline crystal, we're gonna head straight into your reading, looking at what is currently blocking you. So we're gonna look at this card later, but the first two cards here that I have are gonna represent actually what is currently blocking you. So the energies that are currently in your way, that are not allowing you to move forward, and that are, stopping you from getting what you want or what you're trying to achieve. So, first card we have here is confidence, and the second one is abundance. Okay. Just a little side note here, you'll see some of those cards are in French because I am actually French, if you couldn't tell from the very thick accent. And so I have a lot of, half of my cards are in French and half are in English because I'm bilingual and I lived in England many years. So just wanted to put it out there if you're wondering what this language is. So the first card that we pulled, this is very interesting because those two cards, if you were reading them in their lighter aspect, you would think they're very positive, but in their shadow aspect, they are very, very interesting. And obviously we're looking at the shadow aspect today because we're looking at what is currently blocking us, right? So if we look at the confidence card, we can see that part of what is currently stopping you from getting what you want, what is currently blocking you, is confidence in yourself, or potentially even confidence in the universe, confidence in others. You're putting yourself, we can see here she's in that bubble and she's totally withdrawing and potentially a bit scared of what's going on, not wanting to see that there's little helpers here, little allies that could be wanting to help her. She's just not ready to come out of her shell, and she's just avoiding to even look at what's going on. So already we can see that part of what is blocking you, my pile 2, is a lack of confidence. Like I said, it could be lack of confidence in yourself, in your capacities, in your strengths, whatever it is. It could be lack of confidence in the universe because you've been going through some traumas and through some difficult situation. It could be lack of confidence in others because you could have been hurt or potentially deceived by others, and so right now you're in that shell and you're not wanting to open up because you feel like as if it's safer. And I totally get you, we've all been there for sure, but that is what is currently hindering you right now, is that lack of trust. Now the other thing that is currently hindering your progress and in your way and blocking you, we have the card of abundance here, and what is it telling me is that it's linking back to the confidence, because I can feel that for you guys, you almost feel as if everything happens, all the good things happen to other people, but they never happen to you. You see all those other people succeeding, having wonderful relationships, having great success in their career, being really good at a hobby that you enjoy, whatever it is, you're seeing them succeed, being abundant, having all those things in your life that you potentially do not, or that you think you do not. And that is what is currently affecting you and blocking you, is that that pattern of thinking that where you're potentially comparing yourself to others and putting yourself below them, having low self-esteem, not believing in yourself, comparing, always looking at what others have or what they're doing that's better than you, which is not true, of course, but I'm just saying that's like the perspective that you could be having, and that is totally stopping you from achieving what you want, and it's blocking your progress because you do not believe in the fact that you can be abundant. Maybe you don't believe that you are as good as what others are doing. Maybe you're seeing people on Instagram doing all those things and you're thinking, why me? Why does this happen to them and not me? Why do they have a great relationship and I don't? Why are they successful and I'm not? Or, why do they have this job that I really want? And or just whatever it is, we just all have within us that comparison monster that can eat at us and make us feel really low and make us feel like we are less than. But of course it's not necessarily true. What those cards are telling me right now, and we have very strong almost full moon energy here, is that it's shedding a light really strongly on what you're not seeing, and you're not seeing what is actually real. The illusion is strong because you're not looking at it straight in the eye. You're just hiding away in your bubble, and in your bubble things could be distorted. You're not seeing what the reality is. You're not actually witnessing what is. You're just looking at things through a pattern and through you're projecting, is what I'm hearing strongly from the guides. Like I'm hearing very strongly you're projecting your insecurities, and maybe you are projecting your low self-esteem, and that is affecting strongly what you are capable of right now. And that's your greatest blockage, is your self-worth and your ability to believe that you too can be abundant and that you too can be successful, and your ability to stop comparing yourself to others and to really focus on yourself. So yeah, I feel like that's really the energy of this reading for you, my pile 2. So we're gonna look at some extra cards here with the Light Seers Tarot, which I love. So with the first two cards we're going to pull, we're going to have a look at what got you here. You know, this blockage of feeling like you're lacking trust in the universe or in yourself, and you're just kind of like walking on eggshells almost, being a bit like, you know, you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're just kind of seeing all of those people getting there, succeeding and being abundant, and you're just thinking like, when is it gonna be my time? Things never happen to me, you know, all of that stuff. So we're gonna ask the guides, what got you here, my pile 2? How come, you know, what got you in this situation? What happened in the past that actually got you in this situation? The first card we have is a Hierophant, and the second card, Page of Wands. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so my pile 2. Yes, okay. So, how you got there, what got you in this blocked, stuck situation, is the fact that you are potentially not letting yourself hear your guides. Your guides, whether that is whatever you choose to believe in, so whether that is your ancestors, your inner guide, your guardian angel, the universe, your intuition, yourself, you know, your inner self, the universe, whatever you prefer to believe in, whatever is your faith, whatever you believe, that kind of inner knowing that doesn't come from the brain, that it comes from, you know, that kind of soul knowing that we can receive through dreams, through meditation, through walking quietly and letting those, you know, creativity come in. For many people it can happen anytime, can be in the shower, you're, you know, having suddenly a flash of insight, or you're being given some guidance. It could be some animals coming into your life to bring you some message. Whatever it is that you believe that your guides are, whether, like I said, it's within yourself or externally, could even be mentors that you have in your life, some people that are, you know, really helping you right now, some teachers or mentors, people from your family that are really wise, and or friends, or, you know, whatever, people in your community that are helping, guiding you. Maybe you've not been listening, or you've not let yourself receive the advice. You're hearing the advice, but you're not letting yourself receive that advice, if that makes sense. That's what this card is letting me know. So with the Hierophant here, we can see that what actually got you in this situation, my pile 2, is avoiding the flag, you know, not looking at the flags that were put in your way. Maybe there was some words of advice that were given to you that you didn't really feel ready to take in. Maybe there was some, you know, alarms ringing in your own knowing, in your soul, telling you, you know, you really need to take some time to meditate on this. You really need to, are you sure you want to do this, or are you doing this because you think others are doing it? Do you really want to do what you're doing, or are you just doing it because you've seen other people doing it? What it is that you want to do, this energy is, you know, and actually listening to it and taking the steps accordingly to really listen to those guides, whether they are in you, outside you, you know, whatever resonate, you know, when I mention those guides, whether it's your intuition or external, like I said, you know, is really listening to that and acting accordingly. That's what you've been lacking. That's what got you here, is not actually, you know, hearing those messages, not acting accordingly, not taking the time to sit, to also because we can see how happy he is. He's very elevated. Of course, we can see it's someone very spiritual. We have all the keys of the different faiths. We have this idea of ascension towards the light. So we know he's very happy in his spiritual practice. So potentially what's got you here, my pile 2, is you needing to really reconnect with that spiritual practice. Maybe you have one that you've let aside. Maybe you don't have a spiritual practice because you consider yourself very, very practical and you don't think you need it. But actually, this is telling me that you do need some kind of spiritual practice. Now, spiritual practice doesn't mean you have to go to church, doesn't mean you have to start yoga or start meditation. Spiritual practice can be as simple as going for a walk in nature, looking around, giving thanks every day in your head for what you have in your life, keeping a journal, taking notes of your dreams. It can be very simple, like it can be as simple as doing some breathing exercise, and whatever you do to reconnect to that inner deep soul, what that place in yourself where you can really be with your own deep inner knowing, right? That's a spiritual practice, and that's been what's been blocking you, is you not putting that in place, or you kind of putting that aside and not taking the time to reconnect with those inner messages, those inner guides, and not listening to their messages, and potentially trying to do what everyone else is doing as well, is what I'm seeing you. Because we have the Page of Wands here, of what got you here. And the Page of Wands is an energy that is very quick, very fiery, very energetic, very passionate. It's someone that will literally in 5 minutes, they go here, there, everywhere. They're like a social butterfly, right? Which is great because they're very sociable, and they can be also very impulsive, very spontaneous, which is fantastic. But sometimes when we are doing things in a hurry, sometimes we just don't do them properly. If you want to build something that is strong foundation, you have to take your time, right? You can't be rushing. And also I feel like the message, especially linking to what was stopping you, which is all linked to like confidence in yourself and feeling like everyone else is abundant, or maybe you're lacking abundance, you don't see it in your life, and you're just lacking that confidence in the universe or in yourself, or whatever it is to say, don't rush. What got you here is thinking that things are going to happen super quickly. And guess what? They don't. Good things take time, The things are just, good things happen to those who wait, is what I'm being told, like what I'm hearing, that I have to say. So I don't know if this resonates for someone, but for sure I'm hearing like good things come to those who wait. And you need to stop comparing yourself to others. You think they might have done it really quickly, but we don't see everything. What we see on social media, or we only see the good sides of people. We don't see the struggle. We don't see the hours and sleepless nights that they spend trying to build their empire and all of that stuff. And actually a quick fire is going to take very quickly to die down. What you want to build is a very strong fire, the kind of one that you're just going to slowly add wood to, so that it can burn slowly but surely, and so it can keep you sustained for the whole of winter, right? So this is the energy of what got you in this situation, my pile 2. Potentially not listening to your inner guide, your intuition, or to mentors in your life. Not taking that time to really ascend, and not really taking the time to follow what brings you joy, and also wanting to achieve things very quickly, and maybe thinking that things are going to happen very fast, and just not being very patient. Okay? So now we're going to actually look at how can we unblock this situation for you. How can we get away from this stuck situation? How can we move forward? How can we progress? So okay, we're gonna draw 2 cards for this. 8 of Pentacles, okay, and then we have 7 of Wands. Okay, I hope you can see that. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. So How can you unstuck yourself? How can you come out of this blockage that is linked to your self-worth and linked to comparing yourself, and potentially very strongly I'm feeling not believing in yourself? How can you get yourself out of that? By dedicating your time to doing something that you love. See this figure here. She is dedicating her time to her magic, to her craft, to intention, to, we get that very strong feeling of she could be a herbalist, have a botanica, maybe she's working with the moon cycles, she's writing her intention, she's doing some kind of candle meditation, and she's really putting herself in that space where she's focusing solely on what she's doing, her craft, her energy, her hobby, her love, her passion, and from that emanates power. So how do you get yourself out of this blockage? By focusing on you. Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles are all about the material world. They're all about what we can touch, right? So it can be our body, our health, money, our job, our house, our possessions, things that we can, our body energy, like things that usually are to do with the physical realm. How can you get yourself out of this mental blockage? Is focus on you and focus on tasks, manual tasks that are going to help you bring yourself joy. Eight of Pentacles is a very happy card. It always represents someone who is doing some kind of craft or job that they enjoy, and they don't consider it work, because for them it's something that they love. It's something that brings them joy. They don't consider it labor because they enjoy it, because it brings them abundance, it brings them power, it brings them joy. And we're linking back now to the abundance. The way for you to actually break that cycle, open the egg and see where you can be abundant, is by doing what you want. Do what you love. Forget what other people are doing. Don't even maybe you need to take some time and put your, just delete that Instagram app so you don't be checking every 5 minutes what other people are doing. Maybe you need to put some people on pause that are, some people that are supposedly your friends that are actually stressing you out because they're toxic, because they're always telling you, have you seen what this person is doing? Have you seen what that person is doing? They're not very good for you right now, so it's okay to put them on pause. Maybe it's just you need to focus on achieving a course that you wanted to do that's about your passion. Maybe it's taking that drawing class that you've been looking at. Maybe it's taking that online class that you've been really wanting to do that is really passionate, something that you're passionate about but that you've never really wanting to focus on because finding an excuse, or I shouldn't be spending that time on me, or I shouldn't be spending that much money on me. Yes, you need to invest in yourself. You need to really invest in yourself right now and do what you love to do and focus on that craft and hone those skills, because through those skills this is where the abundance could come for you, and this is how you could get yourself out of this stuck situation, especially because we have the Seven of Wands here. You can see how she's literally put herself in that bubble. Some people are wanting to prod that and disturb her and get her out of this peaceful state, but she's not letting that disturb her. She's not letting that affect her. She's too in herself, too in her own I'll get a strong remindance of this. She's comfortable in her spirituality. She's listening to that inner knowing, and through that protecting herself from toxic people, toxic energies, toxic environment, by really covering herself away from that and choosing to tune in more to herself than to what those other people have to say. Don't let them disturb you, is what I'm hearing very strongly. Don't let them bother you. Don't let the drama affect you. You don't have time for that. You don't have time for the drama. You don't have time for jealousy or comparison. You don't have time for it, because you know what? You're meant for something so much greater. But you can't see it if you're too busy looking at other people's wants. You can't see it. You need to look until you take the time to sit quietly and focus on you, investing in you, spend time with you, focus on the skills that you are wanting to develop. Until you do that, you're not going to be able to get yourself out of this situation. The way for you to get yourself out of this situation is, like I said, invest in yourself. You are your biggest investment right now. You are the abundance. There's no need to look at other people's abundance, because you're not, it's not comparable. Maybe their abundance come from inheritance. Maybe their abundance come from a better job or a better relationship, whatever it is. Guess what? It's okay, because where is your abundance? It's in yourself. You're the abundance. You have the power, the magic touch, the skills, the mindset, the inner knowledge, all of that. You have that within yourself to build something amazing for you. But for that, you need to really trust in yourself, focus on yourself, and invest in yourself. That's what I was saying. Invest in yourself. Right. We're going to look now at that card that we had at the top, which I pulled to help us find out also, along the line of how can we get out of this, how do we unblock the situation, how do we get out of it. And we have Thanatos. Okay, that is super interesting. So Thanatos is a Greek word for death. Now, don't freak out, nobody's dying. This is death as an archetype, right? So what do you need to let die? What is in your life right now that you're really struggling to maintain its life, and you just need to let it die because it's not serving its purpose anymore? This could be, like I was saying, could be some people that are not good for you, could be some mental patterns that are not for your highest and greatest good, could be some thoughts that you're having that are no good, some habits that you have that are, not helpful, but something needs to die. Something needs to die so something new can live, right? With death, we have this idea that once something dies, it turns into the soil where new seeds will be planted for something new to grow. And in order for you to really hone your skill and focus on yourself and invest in yourself, some things are going to have to die because they're just weighing you down. So when I say that, you're going to know, when I tell you, you're going to know really what I'm talking about. You're going to know if it's a relationship, if it's a job that you have, if it's a pattern that you're having, whatever it is, a discussion you need to have. You're gonna know exactly when I tell you something needs to die what it is. That I'm strongly getting that message, like that is like they know what it is. Just they need to just be brave enough to know that they can have trust, because that's what you've been lacking, right? You've been lacking trust, thinking if I stop holding on to this, I'm gonna lack abundance. I'm gonna be lacking. I'm gonna have less than. But guess what? Until you make space for new, you're not gonna get anything new. So by releasing what doesn't serve you, by trusting in the universe. Sorry, my camera cut there. I was just saying that's how you get that abundance that you've been lacking. That's how you overcome that blockage that you've been having, my pile too. So wow, such a powerful reading. I love that. We're gonna quickly finish it by pulling from the animal allies and just seeing, because I love working with animals. I think they can have a lot of messages for us. They can really help us have some lessons and messages. So can we get an ally for this situation, for for my pal too? Who is their ally right now? Who can they count on? They can look at for a little ally for my pal too. Let's have a look. Wow, look at that. Oak Spirit, can you see? Oh my god, that's amazing. Let Spirit be your guide. Wow, how cool is that? I love that. See how wow, okay, this is the biggest message that you can have around having trust, having faith, right? Remember, we talked about faith, about that spiritual practice that you were putting on the side maybe, and needing to let something die and having trust in the universe. There you go. Let Spirit be your guide. It's okay. Things are gonna be okay for you, my pile too. You just need to really stop holding on so tightly to what doesn't need to be with you, and focus on yourself, and really let spirit be your guide. Like, that's the message. Have faith that things are gonna be okay, because they will. Look, we've got the oak here, which is such a powerful animal, super powerful. Wow, I'm really happy for you. That's great. So my pile 2, I really hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching. If this reading resonated, please don't hesitate to comment below, letting me what you thought, if how it resonated with you, and also please don't hesitate to give this video a thumbs up, because it really helps me and my channel to grow. So until next time, I'm sending you lots of good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye! Hello and welcome to your reading, my pile 3. So for those of you who have chosen the green opal crystal, which is here, this is going to be your reading. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to look at what is currently blocking you. And to do that, I've already, I drew some cards, so we're going to look at this one later. But for now, let's look at those 2 cards which represent actually what is blocking you right now. So the energy of what is currently blocking you, what is currently not allowing you to get what you want, what is currently stopping you from achieving your goals, all of that stuff. So the first card we have is beauty, and the second card we have is discernment. I'm gonna do the same little disclaimer as I did in the first 2 piles, which is those cards are in French, because if you couldn't tell from my accent, I am actually French, and which I'm sure you can tell. But which is why some of my oracle are and tarot are in French, because I am bilingual. So you see some ones in English and some in French. So luckily for you, those 2 words are very similar in French and in English. We have beauté, which is beauty, and discernement, which is discernment. So that's lucky, right? So what is currently blocking you, my pile 3? With those 2 cards, we are getting a strong sense that what is currently blocking you is your inability to see what is beautiful in your world right now. We can see very clearly you're having clouded vision right now. You're from this person here, she's got her head in the clouds, but not in the way where she's dreaming, in the way where she can't actually see what's around her. She can't actually see the solar system. She can't actually perceive. And especially when we pair it with this beauty card here, we get the strong sense that potentially right now you're in that headspace where you're looking at things from the glass half empty. Maybe it's a little bit harder for you right now to see what is beautiful in your life, to see what is graceful, what is joyful. You might have been going through a really tough time, my pile 3, and I know 2020 has been very difficult for so many of us, but I feel that for your pile specifically, it has been maybe a little bit extra tough, and so you've kind of lost the ability to see and recognize the beauty in life, and and things that you maybe should be grateful about. It's a little bit harder for you to be grateful about them, and I totally understand, because I've been there myself. When we go through traumatic events, it's harder for us to see how there could be beauty around us, and yet most of the time this is where the medicine is for us. This is where the healings come from. It's to really recognize that no matter how low we might have fallen, or no matter how hard the situation is, there is always something to be seen, to be grateful for, something beautiful to be seen, even if it's just, as you can see in this card, a butterfly flying over your window, or a beautiful flower, or even if it's just a song that you listen to that brings you joy, or a good book that you can dig into that's going to bring you comfort. There is always beauty to be found, and yet I feel that what's been currently blocking you, my pile 3, is that for you right now it's a little bit harder to see. I can sense some more dense energy. So I'm really feeling that you've been going through a tough year, maybe a bit more than some others at this time, and so that's why for you it's a bit harder to really get your head out of those gray rainy clouds, right? Like maybe right now everything feels a bit gray and a bit like I was saying, kind of glass half empty kind of vibe. So that's what I'm picking up on for you, my pile 3. So we're gonna go to the tarot, and we're gonna use the Light Seers tarot, which I love, and we're gonna ask what got you there, like, you know, what got you in this situation, how you got to this point where maybe you're having a bit more of a hard time noticing what's beautiful, what's grateful in your joy, and how, you know, that's obviously blocking you from moving forward. So what actually got you there? What got you there, my pile 3? So first card, we have the Queen of Swords, and then we're gonna put another card. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay, interesting, very interesting. Okay, so with the Queen of Swords here, I can see that what got you there is potentially your brain. Brain are fuckers, in my opinion. So, you know, they have great things about them, but they can also be mean, nasty little liars. That mind can drive us totally in loops, right? Like, it's just the mind is so strong, so powerful, sometimes too strong. And the Queen of Swords as an energy in you know, normally if we were to read it in its lighter aspect, would represent an energy of someone that uses its logical mind to make steps forward, that you really knows how to balance things out, where the clear-minded, someone who can pay attention to detail, someone who is very focused, you know, very analytical. But here we're looking at what got you here. So we're looking at what got you in a stuck situation, what got you into a situation where you're blocked. So we're looking at the card in a more shadow side, like as if it was reversed. So here, what got you here is like the energy of the Queen of Swords in its more shadow side, like I was saying. So we're talking about potentially being too analytical, being too nitpicky, and being, you know, listening to your mind too much, maybe looking too much into the details of things, trying to look for something that's not working, waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know, which is why maybe you're not seeing the beauty, because you're just looking at the details, trying to find, you know, think maybe, you know, this is what I'm getting. Okay, I get it. Like, I'm getting a strong sense for this pile 3 that you've gone through something quite really hard. Like, I don't know, obviously I don't know what it is, but I can sense the quite dense energy that you've been going through something really tough, and you are now, I don't want to use the word traumatized because, you know, it's a triggering word, but you're quite shaken up from this event or this experience, and it's totally affecting the way that your brain is working. And I'm sensing a strong, very strongly, I'm hearing right now, you're on survival mode. You're on survival mode. You are just, yeah, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're like tensed, stressed, waiting for shit to hit the fan, because you're like, you've just gone through so much that you're like, you know, what's next? Like, I've picked myself up and picked myself up and picked myself up, and shit keeps happening, and now I'm just stressing and waiting for the next wave of shit to hit me, and I'm just like on survival mode. Like, I'm just literally, you know, that kind of part of brain that we have in the human mind that is the cause and root of all our stress and anxiety, because we're just waiting for the predator to come and eat us, like we would back in like you know, the beginning of human times. That part of your brain right now is very active. The part of your brain that is waiting for the predator to come, that is waiting for danger, that is, you know, waiting for, like I said, shit to hit the fan. And so what got you in this situation is you're living on that, you're walking on eggshells, you're tense and waiting for something bad to happen, and that's causing you to not see the beauty in your life, and that's causing you to being totally blind to what's going on around you and not noticing the goodness and positive and new paths and new horizons that could be presenting themselves to you, new opportunities you could be potentially not seeing, because you're just in that survival mode, just in that very kind of, the repercussion of what you're gone through is affecting how you're looking at life right now. It's a very specific message, so obviously you know, let me know in the comments if that speaks to you, my pile 3, but I can get a really strong sense that you're affected by the past, and it's stopping you from seeing the beauty of the present, because you're not really, yeah, like I said, you're just waiting for something else to happen that could be like pushing you to your limits or something. Waiting for the other shoe to drop is the saying. So the other thing that got you into this situation, we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands talks about, in its positive, more light side, it should normally be about inspiration, creativity, that spark of passion, that spark of, you know, that inner fire that we have in our belly. Obviously, in this situation here, we're looking at the card as if it was reversed. We're reading it in the shadow side because we're looking at it of what, you know, how it got you in this, in a more of this blocked situation. And here the Ace of Wands really talks about, like I was saying, if we look at it paired with the Queen of Swords, potentially listening to your brain too much, looking too much at picking at the details, and being too much on that survival mode, and also not allowing yourself to have those creative sparks, to have those passion sparks, to not really allowing yourself to tune into that more passionate side of you, because you're scared. You're just, maybe you're even tired of what's happened, maybe you're feeling a bit demotivated, maybe you've just had enough because you've been pushed back so much and you've just gone through so much that you just want to chill, and you just don't want to even be bothered with like tapping into that more spark, like joyful, creative, passionate side of you. And yet this is what you're gonna need to, you know, get yourself to see the beauty, and to get your head outside of those gray clouds, those rain clouds, so that you can see the sunshine, right? So like we can see here, she's not seeing the sunshine at all. She's just, because she's too much in the rain clouds. So with the Ace of Wands here, we can see that what got you in this situation is maybe you're not tapping into that creative side enough. So maybe not taking the time to do things that bring you joy, not taking the time to do things that you're passionate about, and also like not really wanting to, just not feeling very motivated to choose yourself. And that's okay. Like I said, of course we all go through those phases, but it's part of what brought you here, accompanied with that idea of being, you know, like I was saying, in survival mode, and maybe just of waiting for the other shoe to drop, of thinking, well, things are going kind of okay now, but I'm kind of waiting for things to happen that are going bad again, because I'm just used to that happening, so it's just a pattern for me. And actually no, Ace of Wands is telling you like you need to have a new perspective on things, because the Ace is the first card, so it's a fresh new perspective, new energy, letting that new energy come in. And you've not really let that, because you've just been stuck on that loop, that mental loop. So okay, so anyway, we're gonna look now, we're gonna pull another card now and actually look at what can you do to get yourself out of this stuck situation, my pile 3. So we're gonna ask, how can an advice on how you can get yourself out of this blocked situation. and we're gonna pull 2 cards for this. So an advice on how to get yourself out of this block situation, how to get yourself, you know, moving forward. Can we get an advice, please? Okay. We have the Page of Swords. And the Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting. Okay. So, I hope you can see that. I think you can. Okay. So, for the advice here, the first card that we pulled is the Page of Swords, and the way for you to actually get yourself out of that mental loop of being in survival mode and of not being able to see the beauty and the grace and things that you should be grateful for in your life in order to move forward is to actually control your mind through teaching it new things. So what I mean by that, the Page of Swords is an energy that is linked, so swords are linked to our thoughts, our brain, communication, the way we think, the way we speak. Swords is very much air energy, right? So it's mental energy. And the Page of Swords here is the energy of someone who learns and who teaches themselves new things and who takes the time to learn as much as possible so he or she can develop new ideas. And so I feel like for you, my pile 3, a way for you to reconnect with the beauty of life and to get yourself out of those gray clouds is potentially focus your energy on learning new things. Potentially there's a course you've been wanting to do, there's a book that you've been wanting to read to learn about something new. Maybe there's just some people you want to chat to because you know they could be teaching you some stuff. That could be really helpful for you in terms of getting the survival part of your brain to shut up because you would be feeding it new ideas. The other way for you, if you don't really feel like learning, so that doesn't really speak to you, but you still want to get out of this kind of mental rut, is to really take the time to purposefully install some new thoughts in your brain. Now, how do we do that? We can do that through meditation, through affirmations, waking up in the morning and using affirmations or mantra to repeat in front of the mirror or whatever. You put them as background on your phone, or you know, whatever works for you, you listen to them on your, you know, whatever it works for you. But affirmation can be a really great way for you to teach your brain new thoughts through, for example, repeating things like, I see the beauty in life, I am grateful for everything I have, good things happen to me, I deserve beautiful things, great things are on their way to me. You know, just reaffirming that the fact that you believe that great things can happen to you, because I feel like for my pile 3, that's something that's been really bothering you, is you don't really potentially have not until now believed that good things can happen to you, or maybe you've just lost sight of that and you've just given up a little bit. Page of Swords is telling you, train your brain to learn new thoughts. Like I was saying, could be by learning, actual learning, taking a course, reading a book, could be through affirmations, could be through journaling, maybe journaling about some stuff you want to let go, and taking some actions on how some mental patterns you want to let go, and taking some steps to let go, to actually let go of them. It could be through therapy, of course, therapy is very good. It could be through meditation, journaling, all of that, you know. Really digging into ways you can control your mind, because your mind right now, for my pile 3, I feel like it's got a lot of power, potentially too much power, and it's stopping you from being grounded and from seeing the beauty that's around you, right? And we can see you're not grounded because look at this. The advice, Wheel of Fortune, things are shaking up. Things are a bit, you know, unstable. In your case, it's good because the advice, what is going to be an advice on how to unblock the situation is have faith that the wheel always turns. And this is perfect advice for you, my pile 3. But the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot really represents this idea of, you know, we see in those TV games, we see the games where they draw, you know, they pull on the wheel and it turns, and the people, they find out if they win like $10,000 or $0 or whatever it is. That's the Wheel of Fortune, and sometimes people win, sometimes they lose. For you, my pile 3, because I feel so strongly that until now you felt like you've been on the wrong side of the wheel, the part that's a bit potentially more shadowy, the universe, your guides, whoever you want to, you know, your intuition, whatever you believe it, wants you to know that the wheel is turning and you need to have faith. Everything in life is a cycle. Everything in life ebbs and flows, right? Of course, there are moments in life when we are at the bottom of the wheel and we feel like we're being crushed and that nothing good happens to us. But guess what? After the wheel has been down, what does it do? It turns and it goes up. So better things are coming. You need to have faith in that, because that is a very powerful card for you to get in this situation. It's super interesting and super powerful. Yeah, I think really strongly you need to believe that the wheel is turning and that better things are coming, better things are on the horizon. In the meantime, you need to really train your brain to be an ally and not your enemy, because right now it's not working in your favor. So do what you can so that you can control your brain so it works in your favor, and in the same time have faith that better things are on their way, that the wheel is turning. The Wheel of Fortune also speaks about bigger things, destiny, fate, karma, things that we can't control. Those bigger things that the universe has in place for us that we might not see, and asking you to have faith in that, to have faith that the stars are aligned for you. See how those stars are aligned? Have faith. Have faith. So we're going to look at now the card I was showing you earlier, that also is going to be, that I pulled before, that also is going to represent an advice on how to get yourself out of this blockage. And we have the Mystique. How cool! I love that. That's beautiful. I don't look at the cards before I pull them, so this is a surprise for me as well, and I think that is perfect because, like I was saying, have faith. The Mystique speaks about that archetype of us that can believe in higher realms, in things that we can't quite comprehend through the brain. Exactly like I was saying, you know, forget about the brain. Sometimes we need to see beyond what the brain can see, and the Mystique uses its third eye, so hers or his third eye, to see beyond the veil, to see beyond what the brain cannot comprehend. It trusts the intuition more than the ego. And this is really your ally right now, is that you need to let the brain shut the fuck up for a little bit and use your third eye, use your intuition, and use that part of you that is going to be more connected to the spiritual realm, or you know, beyond the veil, that kind of vibe, to really help you transform. Because we also have the butterfly here, which is a symbol of transformation, and we have the butterfly here in beauty. So I can see that through this energy, my pile 3, you're going to go through a really beautiful transformation of moving away from a survival way of life, where you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, where you're just stressed out, that kind of like, you know, PTSD vibe, that just of being so traumatized by past things, moving away from that and moving into believing and trusting into your intuition, into that more spiritual side of you, into that inner knowing, so that you can move forward with faith and confidence and into, you know, what's coming. I want to pull from one last deck, which is around animal allies, and I want to use this deck to inquire what can be your ally for this situation, into like unblocking, you know, this for you. How can you move forward? Can we get an ally for you with an advice on how you can move away from this survival mode where you're not able to be grateful for what you have, and maybe getting your head away from those rain clouds so you can see the light. So let's get a little alive for you, my pile 3. Okay. And we have the skunk, and we have the message, know your worth. Beautiful. Know your worth. See, this is totally going with what I was saying about kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and not having faith into what the universe has in store for you with the Wheel of Fortune. But this card is really letting you know, the skunk message here is really letting you know that you need to know your worth and have faith in yourself, both in yourself and in the fact that you know, in bigger things, that the wheel is gonna turn. Know your worth also links back to the mystic, as in it is letting you know that it is for using your third eye and not your physical one that you're gonna be able to realize what parts of your life are actually going well and things that you're actually grateful for. Like I was saying, even though sometimes it's really hard to see them, there's always things we can be grateful for, even if it's just water that we can drink, that we don't have to go walk thousands of miles to go and fetch it. Even if it's just the internet, because if you're watching this video, that means you have internet. Even if it's just that we have shoes that we can walk, or what we have, you know, whatever it is, a roof over our head, or whatever that may be. It could be friends that you know are there for us, or whatever that may be. Even if it's just realizing that you know, we are on this planet that is, you know, in perfect equilibrium to allow us to thrive. Like the sun is providing us with warmth and light and helping plants to grow and survive so that we may then sustain ourselves and we have oxygen to breathe. You know, gratefulness can start really small, like in things that we would almost take for granted, and from then on you can build towards seeing more and more beauty in your day-to-day life. But for that you need to also start to see beauty in yourself. And this is what the skunk is letting you know your worth. If you're like having some hard time right now seeing the beauty in the world, then it starts from within, like I was saying, through those affirmations, mantras, meditation, journaling, whatever you need to use to kind of rewire your brain and tune into that more inner knowing and intuition, and just really tapping into that self-worth. So my pile 3, this is all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, then please don't hesitate to give my video a like, as well as to commenting below, letting me if this message resonates and all that good stuff, because I really appreciate it and it helps me a lot. And in the meantime, until my next video, I'm sending you lots of good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!